Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jerry Bees, and we are finally at the end of our Linkin Park album reaction journey. I know that this should have been wrapped up a long time ago, but thank you for bearing with me. If you were there from the first video where I was wearing that stupid Miles and Daphne shirt from Frasier, I clean shaven and long-ass fucking hair, thank you for sticking it out with me. If you've watched all those videos, I went from a Linkin Park hater to a Linkin Park appreciator to kind of liking Linkin Park. Now I can say I like Linkin Park. That's what you all have done for me. But it is a little bittersweet because in the time that I've kind of become a fan of Linkin Park, we had to react to the last album, One More Light. And for lack of a better word or phrasing, that was really, Chester's swan song. We didn't know it. You wouldn't have known it at the time when that album was released that was really going to be like the last time we'd ever see Chester doing something with Linkin Park. But I thought it fit quite well, right? It was definitely their most intimate album. But I think we're going to change up the pace a little bit here because I have heard the singles off this record. And what record are we talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the new, the revitalized, the rebuilt Linkin Park coming in here with From Zero. And we're doing the deluxe edition today. Typically on the channel, we react just to the standard releases of things, but I'll make the exception. This album's like really short. Even the deluxe version's really short. So I figured, why the hell not? Why the hell not, ladies and gentlemen, right? So the big elephant in the room to address here, no Chester, but now we have Emily Armstrong. I believe the group that she was in before this was called Dead Sarah, in an effort to not bury the lead. I love her voice so much. I think it's the Emptiness Machine and Up From the Bottom are the only two that I've seen or heard thus far. But I've really enjoyed it. It's going to be nice to hear those songs in the context of the album. But more importantly, I'm ready to see what they get into in terms of the album itself. Linkin Park, album after album, they've proven that they're an album band. Now, what do I mean by that? They don't just put out a collection of songs. All of it has like a general theme, or the compositions are similar, or it's mixed in a certain way. Looking at you, Living Things. I'm most excited to see how they approach this album in terms of its pacing, in terms of its compositions. I say that we're in store for a little bit of change of pace just because what I've heard from the Emily stuff, this new stuff, seems to be calling back some of that older, rockier kind of sound from them. And I think I speak for a lot of Linkin Park fans when I say this, right? I am really missing that sound, and I've had to operate a lot of restraint. I didn't want to listen to this album before I was able to make a video on it, and this album's been out for just about a year now, but this is starting our January theme of Grammy-nominated albums. So we'll be doing Hayley Williams, Deftones, and Kendrick Lamar. Later on this month, all those albums have been nominated for Grammys. I don't really care about the Grammys, but it's happening whether I like it or not. So that's what I'm reacting to. If you want to catch us live, if you want to see these videos unedited before they come out on YouTube, the extended versions, you want to check out my second channel, just click all the links in my description. For God's sakes, they're not scams, they're not viruses. Just click every link in my description multiple times even. If you hate the video, hate it. I dislike button, it's right there. But more importantly, let me know your thoughts on my thoughts as we go through this album down in the comments. Linkin description. Yeah. Linkin description. God. We're not that funny here. So this is it. This is From Zero, the deluxe edition, 2025. 14 songs, 41 minutes, 46 seconds. Welcome, Emily and the new drummer, I guess. So very excited for this. Let's get into it. This is From Zero intro, and we'll let it bleed into the Emptiness Machine.
From Zero?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, your first...
Emptiness Machine.
Your blades are sharpened with precision, flashing your favorite watch me bleed.
Piano.
Gave up who I am for
Linkin Park
who you
piano.
wanted me to be. Don't know why I'm home. The emptiness machine.
Going around like a revolver. It's been decided how we lose. This ends, I let you cut me open just to watch me bleed. Gave up who I am for who you wanted me to be. Don't know
I only wanted to be part of something. I only wanted to be part of.
I only wanted to be part of something. I only let you cut me open just to watch me bleed. Gave up who I am for who you wanted me to be. Don't know why I'm open, so fucking naive. This machine.
All right, and we'll stop it right there just because I know some of these songs transition into the next, but I know I'm super late in saying this because this album's been out for like a fucking year at this point. Welcome fucking back, Linkin fucking Park. It is such a triumphant revival with this first song and, first two songs, I guess. Really, one track, two tracks, right? Definitely the sound we needed, like, fucker, you're not gonna break me. Bitch, I lived. I know I probably go a little too far in my comparisons here on the channel sometimes, and I really don't want to compare Chester to Emily, but I think if you're looking for a new singer for Linkin Park, it needs to be a powerful voice, and Emily's voice is exactly that. It does sound like it sounds so similar to Chester in a way, like it has this rasp to it. And Chester didn't have like a very high register, but I think it was like a little bit higher for maybe like a guy, right? Just because guys can hit lower notes so much easier, at least a lot of the time. And I feel like like Emily's right there, so maybe her register's a little bit lower for a lady. I don't know. I'm not a vocal coach, but to me, this is like the most perfect fit for them. Really loved this idea of having Mike start off the song, kind of give us a little bit of anticipation for the new quote-unquote lead vocalist with Emily, right? I mean, God, this was their first album in, 8 years? And they're reviving this harder rock sound, at least in this song, and I know with the other single that I've heard, so we'll see what they get into it with the rest of the album. And they've done this before, so if you think back to Minutes to Midnights, wasn't necessarily the hardest album in terms of like heavy distortion and breakdowns and stuff like that. But it begins with Giving Up, which is just, a shot of adrenaline to start an album. So we'll see if this is more of a Meteora, more of a hybrid theory kind of a deal, or will Linkin Park continue to defy their own expectations, maybe put some pop flavorings in there. I don't know. Really the best comeback song because it sounds like LP, but the energy has shifted at the same time. I don't know if they're shifting their energy because this sounds like so Linkin Park to me. I think the circumstances are different. We needed something triumphant given what happened. And if you're going to come back, if you're going to replace Chester, you better not fuck it up. And at least in terms of how this album is starting, I am not worried at all. This album is like all of their sounds over the years. Well, we'll see how true that is. We'll see what kind of sounds I clock out of this. But we'll pull back a little bit as we get into, really, for me, the first new Linkin Park song, just because I, haven't heard really anything after this or in between this from Zero. So let's get on with it. Cut the Bridge.
It's like the 4th day of July, reckless like
Everything was perfect, always made me nervous just to watch it burn. Cut the bridge with
All right, so that was Cut the Bridge, and I'm getting a lot of sentiment here from the chat that this isn't their favorite song on the album. Maybe it's their least favorite song on the album, and, you know, it's compositionally, right? This is a little bit more punky Linkin Park, right? And punk is just inherently a lot simpler in its composition. So, you know, it's just down, cut it down, cut it. Dun. It's pretty simple, but excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I need the way she sings "We're On" and holds it there. It's so good. It's powerful. It's reminiscent. It's exactly what I want out of Linkin Park, from what I found to enjoy out of Linkin Park here. Additionally, the guitar tones and the mixing, it's so perfect. You know, and you know, even if I like the harder Linkin Park stuff, looking back, you know, I felt maybe some of the earlier mixings were a little bit muddy just because there was so much shit going on. Maybe a little bit more restrained in terms of overall elements. But, I mean, volume level is, like, way up. It's just super loud. It's like they made this because they knew everybody was going to crank it up to 11. R.I.P. Rob Reiner. By the way, Colin, the new drummer, has produced bands like Papa Roach, A Day to Remember, One OK Rock. He's basically the second mic to the band now. He plays multiple instruments, but his main instruments are the drums. Well, you know, I mean, welcome to the band. And this little fill he does here is fantastic. Ah, man. So good. Now, maybe I agree with all of you. Maybe I say, you know what, this is my least favorite. This is my least favorite. But we shall see. That's why we listen to the whole album, you know. It's kind of like, oh, I'm hungry. Well, why don't you eat? That's an idea. That's an idea. Because right now, this is my second favorite song off the album. Heavy's the Crown. So the title of this one sounds familiar. I may have heard this before. I don't know.
It's pouring in, you're laid on the floor again.
Oh, yeah.
One knock at the door and then we both know how the story ends. You can't win if your white flag's out when the war begins. Aiming so high but swinging so low, trying to catch fire but feeling so cold.
This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crowd. Fire in the sunrise. Ashes raining down. Heavy is the crowd.
Turn to run, now look what it's become. Outnumber 10 to 1. Back then should've bit your tongue, cause there's no turning back. This path once it's begun.
Keep bleeding out. This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crowd. This is what you asked for. This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crowd. Fire in the sunrise. Heavy is the crowd.
Whatever this sound is, whatever that sound is, because it was at the top of the song too, is like quintessential Linkin Park, and that's like a big callback. People were saying that this song sounds like first two album Linkin Park, and I couldn't agree more. This breakdown.
This is what you asked for.
They still got it. You know, I know nostalgia might be a little rampant these days. Why do we need more sequels? Why do we need more remakes? Why are they rebooting Frasier? You know what I mean? And some of it's just a cash grab. Some of it's just a cash grab. I would say most of it is just a cash grab. However, we need this. We need Linkin Park. This one's fine. Let me keep this. let me keep this one. I don't need this to die in the 2010s, okay? I need this to keep going. I didn't know we needed this album until we had it. Yeah, this is I am loving every single part of this right now. I wanted this to be like heavier Linkin Park just because I had heard the singles. I haven't heard this one, by the way. I know The title sounded really familiar. I think I just seen people talking about it, but I hadn't listened to it yet. I like it on Spotify. The little sidebar menu here is like showing like a little loop of like the League of Legends animation for it, because I guess this was used for the League of Legends World Championship, which makes sense. Hey, if you win this terrible game, you get the crown, and heavy is the crown. It takes a lot of work to beat a terrible game. I hate League of Legends. I'm sorry. Actually, not sorry at all. I had fully embraced for never hearing LP again, and I was okay with it. Then they came back with this, and it made me cry. I mean, imagine that was one of the biggest things for me, because all the way back at the beginning, I always said I don't like Linkin Park, but people I love Linkin Park, and it was hard to see them being so hurt when the band dissolved after what happened with Chester. And so, like you're saying, Vivi, you had fully embraced never hearing Linkin Park again, and then this comes out, and then you cry. I can totally see it. My Linkin Park affiliation is rather short. I don't have as much emotional energy and time put into this band as probably you all have, but this is extremely cathartic. Like going back to those first couple albums too, in the way that it sounded, it's cathartic. It's like, it feels like a release. All this pent up aggression just getting expressed within guitars, within pianos, within white boys rapping. Although, is Mike white? I don't know. I've always felt Mike to be rather ethnically androgynous. Is he Japanese? He's like, does he have Japanese in him? Or is that was Mr. Han. Part Japanese, I think. Mike Asian. Okay. Yeah, whatever, like that. It sounds like it's supposed to be like an orchestral section in the beginning, and they call it back towards the end. That is just like signature Linkin Park there. And it opens up with Mike hitting the mic flow. So Mr. Han is Korean. Thank you for your devotion to accuracy. All right. Well, we'll move on here. Now, with how high energy these past few songs have been, and knowing that they're an album band, I am waiting for them to slow it down a little bit, and for them to allow us to kind of collect all of our thoughts and feelings, emotions, or collect our Labubu's, or what are kids collecting now? Over each other.
This is the letter that I didn't write. And I'm trying to find my patience, but you won't let me breathe. And I'm not ever over each other.
So that was Over Each Other, and it seems like I spoke a little too soon, or maybe I spoke at the perfect time. After Heavy's the Crown, I just got done saying, like, I am in the mood for a little bit of a slower paced song at this point. Maybe this is like the hunting party, and you just continue to slap me in the face for over a half hour, except for the Tom Morello song, which was really weird. But here, it picks up a little bit towards the end, but this is exactly what I need. A little bit more, I don't want to say a little bit more emotional in the lyrics, maybe a little bit more intimate. This is probably alluding to like a personal relationship of some kind, over each other, if you will. And, just maybe an apology from me. With this run through so far, I haven't been laser focused on the lyrics just because I've found, Linkin Park's compositions to be so interesting, especially over the course of an album and how they evolve and all these different tones, whether in how the instruments sound themselves or whatever, vibe or atmosphere they're going for. And that's what I'm really looking at right here. Although this I caught a little bit more. And this is just Emily singing. So is this did Emily write this one herself? Is she co-writing a lot of the songs with Mike? Maybe the new guy? I really don't know what the scene's like there anymore, and how I guess the writing's divvied up, I suppose. But on the album, loved where this one sits. Doesn't really pull me in as much as the other ones, but hey, it's whatever. If I'm listening to a whole album, I want a nice little spot to breathe, and that's what this one kind of gave me a little bit. Well, still, towards the end, it's like, hey, motherfucker, you're still listening to Linkin Park, all right? This album is very well paced. Most of their albums are. They are an albums band. One of the best things about Linkin Park is between any of their albums, whether I loved them or hated them, because there was a couple that I didn't think that they were full on stinkers, but I'm like, I could do without that one. Yeah, it's like they put so much shit in their albums, and there's so many things to pay attention to. And they're over in like 29 minutes. Or, this is a deluxe version that's 41 minutes long, for God's sakes. I mean, they're an incredibly dense. Actually, Mike initially wrote the song for him to sing, but then realized it would be better for Emily. I mean, I've come to enjoy Mike singing sometimes, but yeah, it's definitely better with Emily. I don't even need to hear Mike sing it,
You got it. Yeah, that's the one. Are you recording this? Okay, get your screamy pants on.
Casualty.
I know all the secrets you keep. I won't be your casualty.
I got too complacent, bleached in the eyes. Put to running,
'Cause something's coming.
it's only a matter of time.
Let me out. Set me free. I know all the secrets you keep. I won't be your casualty.
You drew the first blood to the dogs, but I'm not running.
'Cause something's coming.
It's only a matter of time.
Let me out. Set me free. I know all the secrets you keep.
I'm scared.
It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. Stop!
Telling me you're something that you're not. You see the green light in your eye.
Set me free! I know all the secrets you keep. I won't get all die.
So we get like Angry Mike. What? Yeah, definitely keeping it hardcore punk here. I mean, it's a short number, right? 2 minutes, 20 seconds. It's really even a little bit shorter than that because I can tell that they're about to transition here. So we'll go back, preparation for the next track. Yeah, this is like as hardcore punk as Linkin Park has really gotten, maybe outside of the Hunting Party. Yeah, what's the name of the new drummer guy? Kevin, Brian, Wilson, Daniel, Scott. What's his Colin. Yeah, his drumming on this towards the end was brilliant. Colin Britton, more like Colin Brilliantin. Such an about face from that last song. Goodness God. Yeah, so we've seen the hardcore punk stylings out of this song, and really I think it was Cut the Bridge where I'd kind of mentioned it before. This is kind of a Linkin Park Eras tour in a way. Because we've heard some of the more nu metal stylings out of maybe Emptiness Machine and Heavy as the Crown there. Do we just get like full on pop bops like One More Light at some point? Because that'd be nuts. That'd be a little too crazy, even for me. Speaking of Colin White, all respect for Rob, he's an upgrade for me. I mean, Overflow.
We're all just up for a riot, catching fire, fighting fire. I can feel the pressure coming, and the world are putting to me.
Turning from a white sky to a black hole, turning from the sunlight to a of control. I keep on feeling it up to overflow.
Looking up, the sky is falling. I can hear the future calling. Riding going down, we're going down, we're going down, we're going down. It's all the same to me. We're going down, we're going down.
Turning from the white sky to a black hole. I know I can't make it stop. I know I'm out of control. To overflow. To overflow.
You know, this is bringing me back to all those great times where Linkin Park has made, like, you know, those instrumental, more atmospheric interludes, I guess. This one's, it's got lyrics, but it's reminded me of, like, Cure for the Itch, right? If I'm remembering that track correctly, off of the first album. And I'm just saying that as to give an example of other times where, you know, they make something a little bit more spacey, a little bit more atmospheric. And I feel like this checks both boxes in terms of conveying this theme of, you know, the world is pressing down on you, right? And the world pushed the button. You know, you just can't handle this shit. I haven't said anything about the vocal mixing or just how the vocals are coming across so far on the album. They came through really great here, especially, I think, the more atmospheric end of this song really does some favors for the vocals. I think the vocals can take up a little bit more space there. Now, it gets harder towards the end. Like, I'm getting that, like, scary feeling in my stomach that I had through the first couple LP records. Yeah, the outro really put a nice bow onto this one here. I wonder if we're going to get, like, an instrumental track out of this one. You know, give me a minute and 30 seconds. Give me 45 seconds, right? Just a nice little mid-album instrumental. That's what I want coming up. If this is all it is, I'll take it. I'm a simple man to please, ladies and gentlemen. You don't got to do a lot for me. Like, subscribe, dislike, tell me why you hate me, tell me why you never want to see me again, tell me why my opinions are bullshit. Or you can say, hey, you know, I don't disagree with you, but you should keep doing what you want, because that's fine. If you're that person, thank you. Two-Faced. Foreboding riffs, ladies and gentlemen.
Last time I was hanging by a thread, trying to say I'm not, but I'm in it over my head. That's when I figured out where it led, beginning to realize that you put me over it. But I can't bear to put it all behind. I run into it blind like
Two-faced, caught in the middle, caught in the middle. They counting to zero, the middle.
last time you told me it wasn't true, and pointing every finger at things that you didn't do. So that's why I kept missing truths not rigid. Your rules aren't fair, the dark's too vivid, the light's not there. I start to give in, but
Caught in the middle, caught in the middle. I can't hear myself think.
can't wait for Emily to scream at my ears. Make me go deaf, please.
Stop yelling at me!
Stop yelling at me! Stop yelling at me!
That's what it is.
Oh my god. I knew she was gonna bust my eardrums. I'd even asked for it. And then she has the gall. The unmitigated gall to say, stop yelling at me. Emily, please. Take a moment of self-reflection. Are you yelling right now? Yes, you are. Kind of seems like this whole respect thing's a one-way street. But I enjoyed this one. Chester yelling, shut up. Emily yelling, stop yelling at me. And I'm just crying in my living room playing Wii Bowling and wanting my mom and dad to stop fighting. Yeah. That's a good little parallel. I mean, that's what it definitely felt like that, right? It definitely felt the lead up to shut up when I'm talking, right? It definitely it had a very similar lead up to that.
I can't hear myself think. Stop yelling at me!
I feel like this album did not make a lot of people happy. I feel like there is a contingent, and this is based off nothing. This is nothing but a gut feeling. But I could imagine, just because people are insane, that people were like, wait, Linkin Park was evolving their sound, and now they went back to sounding like they used to. And I don't talk to those people. I don't even like them. I am so satisfied so far. It is a little hard to wrap my head around. People that weren't happy with this album have been sipping too much haterade, in my opinion. Well, and there's always going to be those people it's like, hey, the girl is in the band now. There's no girls in Linkin Park. Why is there a girl in my band? I feel like there was a little bit of that. But I did see a lot of those comments kind of die out once the single started to roll out, where people were like, oh, shit. She kind of bad though, like good way bad. It's like, ooh, this is cold. This is I will be completely honest with you here. I will stand 10 toes down on this idea. One of the best frontman replacements after a death, and I think it might even be the best, is when Brian Johnson joined AC/DC after Bon Scott. Bon Scott, in those early AC/DC records, had this very distinctive, raspy, yelly kind of voice that was perfect for that, like, in-your-face blues rock that AC/DC was doing. Bon Scott dies. Then they get Brian Johnson on for Back in Black, and it was perfect. They couldn't have done a better job finding somebody who not only sounded a lot like Bon Scott, but brought other things to the table. I think Brian Johnson screamed a lot more. It definitely brought some more intensity to the vocals that kind of matched Angus and Malcolm Young's guitar work and all that. This is just as good as the Bon Scott Brian Johnson replacement. If they had to go somewhere, where could you go? They went with Emily. You could not have asked for a better front person. Although I'll just call him front man. Emily's the man, and if you don't think Emily's the man, you're high on drugs. Stained.
Yeah, hand on my mouth, I shouldn't have said it. Gave you a chance, already regret it. But in your teeth, what you forget, you were gonna repeat. You don't get to make amends like your hand's still clean.
Because you're stained. You try to hide the mark, but it won't fade. Now you're stained. Now you're stained.
Tripping on words, alibi starts slipping. Wanna wake from the nightmare you've been living. But we both know forgotten doesn't mean forgiven. What you forget, you were gonna repeat. You don't get to make amends like you
So that was Stain, and I got a feeling that like the baseline energy for this album, I mean, at this point, we're what, 9 tracks in? That was the 9th track. You know, we're basically almost done with the standard release here. There's 2 extra ones. I'm assuming the 2 extra ones, that's the deluxe edition. Do tell me if I'm wrong. But like that, the baseline energy level of this album is pretty high. And so after Two-Face, we get Stained. I think that was a decent way to bring it down a little bit, but still holding it in that area. You know, if this was a Box and Whiskers plot, maybe you have, I forgot the other slower song. You know, maybe you got like the slower songs right here and then the higher songs right here. But this is where it's all existing. Whereas maybe, you know, One More Light's like down here, you know, whatever. Am I making sense? I didn't think I'd be referencing Box and Whiskers plots in a Linkin Park reaction, but I am. Because I'm hesitant to call this like a filler song, because it's definitely not a filler song. I think it's just adding to the pacing here for me a little bit. And the one thing that it's bringing, you know, outside of, you know, just the higher energy, and a lot of that's done through the guitar work here, is the vocals. I'm gonna have to listen to more Linkin Park, so hopefully they come out with a new album soon, because I'm excited to hear it. I like to get more melodic sections out from Emily, just because I think, you know, we just listened to One More Light within the past month or so, you know, and really missing those melodic sections that Esther brought to the table. And, you know, I think after enough time, I realized that Mike can bring those as well. And the dueling vocals between the two of them on this record have been serving me quite well. Although I'm not necessarily complaining, though, because Emily's bringing the loud, screamy rasp shit, and I just want to curl up in a ball and listen to it all goddamn day. Can you guess what IGYEIH stands for? EIEIO. I guess you extra infant haters. I imagine getting your eyes inspected, Hector. Imagine getting your eyes inspected, Hector. That's exactly what it means. That's what IGYEH stand. Is that it?
So the question.
I give you everything I have.
I gave you everything I I'm cracking it open wide, dying for one job, for how to make up my mind.
Clock keeps ticking, rules are written.
Forgotten doesn't mean that it's forgiven this time. I gave you everything I had. All you give me is your ugly enemy. You make me out to be, and I'm so tired of this wishful thinking, drowning, sinking, left with nothing left. I gave you everything I had. I write all the memories down, all over my skin.
And the clock keeps ticking, rules are written.
Trying to remember how to make up my mind.
Clock keeps ticking, rules are
But I'm not the enemy. You make me out to be, and I'm so tired of this wishful. I'll give you everything I From now on, I don't need you. 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 From now on, I don't need you.
Okay. All right. Many things to discuss here. So this was, I give you everything I have. Not what I thought IGYEIH stood for. Now, towards the end of this is like, this is like the perfect anthem for dropping any loser person you have in your life. I don't need you. Though this is interesting. From now on, got amnesia. So are you just willing to forget everything that's happened? Or has that happened as a result of something? Maybe a little bit more passively. I don't know. There's some interesting interpretations. I'm gonna say some shit that I should probably wait for the conclusion to say, but I don't care. So far, I mean, we got 2 tracks left in the standard release, 4 tracks in total left. This is a Linkin Park fan's Linkin Park album. This is so satisfying to me, and considering the circumstances, but even outside of that, I'm perfectly willing to accept, in an alternate reality, Chester just left the band, he stayed alive, and then, oh, okay, we got a new singer. This one comes out, boom, brilliant. Absolutely loving everything that this is bringing to the table. I don't think I've listened to every single album nominated for Best Rock Album at the Grammys. But if this doesn't win, and I don't know, because the Grammys will do this, right? The Rolling Stones will drop an album that nobody cares about. And I'm not, and that's no diss to the Rolling Stones, right? But they put out Hackney Diamonds last year, and it got nominated for a Grammy for Best Rock Album. You dipshits, I get they're a big name, but can you reach a little further into the pot for a nomination? And I forgot what won. Actually, I think it did win. Did it? I don't know. I don't give a shit. But if this doesn't win, what? This is rock. This is modern day rock and roll. Sure, they're calling back a little bit to the shit that they did in the 2000s, but it's not produced the same way. Doesn't hit the same. Metalcore is a little bit more of a thing. Not to say that this has metalcore in it so much, but I think more people now, more than ever, listen to harder music and can appreciate harder music more than they ever have. And this is a perfect balancing act between maybe some slower sections, between some lyrics that make you think a little bit, but they're accessible in the sense that, somebody's not screaming it at you, but somebody's singing very, 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 very loudly. Deftones also got nominated, and we will be reacting to the new Deftones album.
Feels like it's rain in my head for 100 days. For forgiveness 100 times. Believed it myself when I halfway 100 times. And I say I hate you when I don't push you when you control. Sometimes bad things take the place where good things go. No, I'm just taking a shot. Maybe I'm just too eager. Oh, maybe I lost the plot. I used to pity some people. I said they were missing a spine. Yeah, maybe I'm better than hey. Spit out my medicine, hey. Drunk on adrenaline, hey. And I don't know why I say I hate you when I don't push you when you get too close. And I cross those balls. So thank you for always standing by me. Sometimes bad things take the place where good things go.
Whoa. You can't just drop me off right there. All right. Smitty says something here that I think I can echo a lot here. Mike Shinoda deserves a lot of praise on this album. Heck, the whole band does. Would have been so difficult for them to come back and do this. Yeah, I mean, I was just about to say, I wish there was even more Mike. God, could you telling me at the start of the journey that I wanted more Mike. Because he was one of the things that kind of pushed me away from it, I realized I had to quit looking at, what I didn't like about Mike and see it in relation to all the things I liked around him, and then realizing that so much of everything had to do with Mike, and Mike had so much to do with everything else, and appreciating not only his role, but then also what he brings to the compositions with his rapping and the way that he raps. And in liking Linkin Park, I realized that it's not so much that I inherently like Mike Shinoda's rapping any more than maybe I did. I think I do. But it's that it's the Linkin Park sound, and whenever I hear about that, I get happy because it reminds me of a band that I enjoy. Reminds me of a band that I like. As far as song placement here, knowing that this was the last song off of the standard release, really putting an emotional exclamation point at the end of this. Sometimes bad things take the place where good things go. I can't imagine, knowing that this is an album band that isn't some reference to, the maybe the loss of Chester or it's not the most specific thing, and that's what I've kind of said about Linkin Park's lyrics in the past, that you can paint a very broad brush when it comes to their lyrics because they're not always the most specific. Sometimes it is, but I think most of the time it isn't. Lyrics for me in Linkin Park, that's not the reason why I come. Sometimes that is the case, but I got to imagine that there's like so many other little things that I just missed as I'm paying a lot of attention to the composition that may have, been a more pointed reference towards the loss of Chester and us kind of collecting ourselves to come up. From Zero, I mean, my God, just the album title itself, I think makes all the sense in the world. And I really couldn't imagine a better title for it. Here it is. So this is more of a review than a reaction. I'll probably be blowing the air horn about 20,000 times during this song. I love this song. This is Up From the Bottom. Hey, it's just Linkin Park. This is Linkin Park. This is it. Right here.
Feels like air is running out.
It's so catchy.
Inside I'm stuck here.
This song.
Waking up without a name, open up my eyes, knowing nothing is the same. Circling around a drain, as I realize that there's no one else to blame.
You keep me waiting down here, so far below, staring up from the bottom, up from the bottom. I try to hold my breath until I'm blue. Feels like a knife pushed deep inside a socket, bristling.
That there's no one else to blame.
You keep me waiting down here, so far below, staring up from the bottom, up from the bottom, up from the bottom.
Everybody out, that devil is coming. Poison on his lips and his words mean nothing. Cold like a mountaintop, father never loved him. Mama said he's bad enough times, that ghost already off running.
Down here, so far below, staring up from the bottom, up from the bottom. I try escaping, but there's nowhere to go, staring up from the bottom.
I've said through the Linkin Park journey that, I appreciate the ways in which Linkin Park evolved. And if you're a Linkin Park fan, I don't really have to go that deep into explaining what I mean by that. But you can look at the first two albums, third album, fourth album. They're always doing something else and they're evolving. And if they would have just ran with that old sound, you have that. If you run with that old sound for long enough, there's the worry that it gets stale at some point. However, I'm so glad they're leaning back into that harder sound. And this is I started the reaction of this song, the review for this song, with this is Linkin Park, and it is just so they own this sound so well, and if it's not broken, don't fucking fix it. Maybe another AC/DC connection there. And actually, that's something I'll say. Linkin Park did better than AC/DC. AC/DC never really deviated from the three chords that they play over and over and over again. It's a great fucking song the way that they play it, but it's a little stale. I get why people, kind of turn their heads away from AC/DC. Was interested and I appreciated all the little avenues that Linkin Park went into, but I would be remiss if I didn't say that this shit hits more than anything else they've ever done. Just this kind of sound. And I think that is brought to the table in this song so well. You think back to like Numb or really any of those classic songs. This song stacks up so well next to all of them and stands even a little bit taller, I think. in just in the way that it's mixed, it's if this one is the most LP like, the next one is the most un-LP like in my opinion. Unshatter.
Maybe I'm too patient cause I waited until now to see. Take what you say and I ruminate away reality.
Unshattered, the picture I was trying to see myself in. Unshattered,
I was waiting patiently, saving judgment for too long. When the hesitation we set the stage out right to a new wrong. And we'll never ever put it back together. I should've known better, you're lying.
unshattered, the picture unshattered. We'll never ever put it back together. I should've known better, you're lying.
So that was Unshatter, and a lot of people were saying this one sounds the most like Dead Sarah. So that was the band that Emily was in before she got picked up. And like, I don't know if she's still working with Dead Sarah, but like that's got to be crushing for Dead Sarah, right? Like, hey guys, so this band asked me to be their new lead singer. Oh, dude, like that's so cool. You think you'll have the time to divvy it up both ways between us and them? Yeah, well, you see, that's the thing. It's Linkin Park. Oh yeah. See, that's yeah. No, you better take that deal. Yeah. No. I'm going to. I'm not asking for permission. I'm just saying that I'm doing this now. I am Chester. So I hope she's still cool with Dead Sarah. I can, this fits in to the general color of this album, and I'll consider it, part of the album, even though this is the deluxe portion, just because this is a harder Linkin Park album. This is a little bit of a harder song, but I can see sans the mic rap sections in this song, how people would say that this does differ from the standard Linkin Park sound. There's no synth floaties in the background. There's no record scratches. There's no piano. It's a little bit more punk rather than nu metal-y. Or maybe it is a little new, but I don't know. Now this is piquing my interest to go and listen to Dead Sarah. So, who would have known that the best advertisement for Dead Sarah would have been for the lead singer to leave and go join Linkin Park? So apparently the last song some people have been thinking has been about Chester, but Mike left it open to interpretation from everything I've gathered. So let's cap off From Zero. Let You Fade.
Lost in the end,
Remember you.
this is supposed to feel different. Why do I feel the same? Trying to get with the rhythm. I'm all over the place.
Every slip away, breaking our backs for a pile of sand, just to have it all falling out of our hands. Maybe it all gets lost in the end.
I know I'm the one that you wanna forget, but I'll remember you. you. No matter where I wait, time will test you. Time will test you. Time will test you. I won't let you fade.
I won't let you fade. I won't let you.
You know, I know a lot of people were saying that the last track definitely didn't sound very LP, sounded a little bit more like Dead Sarah. This, am I right into calling this like new? I can't really remember a Linkin Park song that moves like this. This was definitely new. They're coming at this one from a different angle compositionally here. I can't quite place it. And that is the inherent flaw of doing something like this, right? Reacting to something for the first time. I know I'm going to have to sit with this album a lot and get some more out of it, because I know that there's songs that I really loved and I already forgot the name. You do kind of have to operate with a little bit of short-term memory when you're doing shit like this, at least from what I found in my experience. There's something here that's new. Because the only thing here that's like old or that's reminiscent of Linkin Park is Mike. And I mean, you hear Mike on top of distorted guitars. It's fucking Linkin Park. So that makes sense to me. But there's something else here within the composition, within the instrumentals that, and the structure of the song itself that kind of separates itself from the pack. And, you know, and also if we're going over the whole interpretation that this is about Chester, again, it's Linkin Park. They don't have the most referential lyrics in a sense where you can like basically pinpoint things and say this is what happened then and all this other shit. It is all pretty general, but this is definitely about Chester. This is supposed to feel different. Why do I feel the same? You know, I'll always remember you no matter where our ways may take us to. I mean, how is that not? I won't let you fade. Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah. There's a lot of anguish and, you know, probably some self-doubt when, you know, let's face it, you know, the guy, you know, like the face of the band left, and, you know, everybody else is like, shit, like how do we even continue this? Do we? And you know, kudos to them for waiting as long as they did. I mean, people were mourning for a long time. People are still fucking mourning. You know, we mourned when we reacted to One More Light. You know, that was really hard for me. You know, I think if you look closely, you can see some water in my eyes, but I was fighting it back. Could be about the band itself. Yeah, I think this is, you know, don't let the good things go, even when they're not here anymore. I think it's just a nice little general thing to put there. But as far as, you know, just the sound itself, I thought this one was very different from even the rest of the album, and I thought it's kind of fresh for them. You can do an official album ranking now that you've reacted to all the studio albums. Well, that takes us perfectly into the conclusion part of this album, and if I do make that video ranking all of the Linkin Park albums, it's gonna be real fucking hard not to call this one an S tier Linkin Park.
It's good shit, pal.
Oh yeah, for
I was at the end of the One More Light reaction. I had said that I'm expecting something very triumphant out of this, mainly because I had heard Up From the Bottom, and it's a very triumphant kind of track. It's a very get me started, you know, like you can't keep me down. I'm at the bottom. I'm up. Oh, you broke up? Nah, she broke. I'm up. Right? That's what I got out of that song, and I was hoping that the album band that Linkin Park is would put together something that would be cohesive in that sense, to give this general air, this general theme of you're not going to keep me down. We're going to push on through adversity, through loss. We're not going to forget how we got here, but we have to move on. The show is not over. The show must go on. And that's exactly what this album was. Them revisiting that harder sound, just with maybe a little bit more modern production, maybe a little bit more restraint in some of the other elements that we had heard in those first couple albums. You know, I didn't necessarily get the songwriting that I really liked on Minutes to Midnight or One More Light. But as far as how consistent the energy was, this is right up against Hunting Party. And I think that was a fault of Hunting Party, right? Because it was just high energy the entire way through. And that's the same here, but they do let us ebb and flow a little bit. They do give us time to kind of collect our thoughts between some songs. Or if we're not collecting our thoughts, at the very least, just letting the album breathe out a little bit. You know, everything doesn't have to be balls to the wall every single fucking time. I mean, I said it before. I'll say it again. I've been saying it this whole time. Emily, that was such a good addition to this band. You know, I think a lot of Linkin Park fans, a lot of ardent Linkin Park fans, because if you're a fan of this band, you're probably an ardent fan of them. You know, this is probably in your top 5 bands, top 10, top 3 even. But this might even be your favorite band of all time. And you hear the news that they're coming back without Chester. By God, you better make it fucking good. You better stick the landing so hard that anybody else who sticks a landing after this looks like they fucked up completely. And I think they got pretty goddamn close. This was such a success, and I was engaged the entire time. This is the one good remake. This is the one good sequel that we've gotten. Mike said that they had a lot of risks with this move. Oh, 100%. 100%. You know, I think I want to say that the news that they were coming back. Actually, you know, no. We'll do a proper devotion to accuracy here. Hold on. So I was gonna say, like, had they released the album before I had started reacting to them, by the time I posted that first Linkin Park reaction, whether they had announced that they were coming back. But I remember, you know, even being a Linkin Park hater back then, I'm like, oh shit, they're doing this? Okay. Like, good luck with that, buddy. I am so utterly satisfied with having listened to this. I got everything I wanted out of this and then some. Mike hasn't lost a step. The new drummer, my boy Colin, coming at it with ferociousness and giving me reason to comment on Linkin Park's drumming from time to time. So after this journey, are you a Linkin Park hater or a Linkin Park hardcore fan now? I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore fan. Because I think the hardcore fans, if you're talking about hardcore fan of like hardly any band, you like worship everything that they've put out. And that's definitely not the case for me. I can't honestly say, I don't know if I've had as big of an about face on a band as I've had with Linkin Park. From what I don't like about them, you know, I can still kind of appreciate, but what I do like, I love a lot. Like, I was going to open up today's stream with Given Up. That's probably my favorite Linkin Park song, but there's some good ones on this album that I need to go back and listen to a little bit more. And honestly, I think Up From the Bottom is one of the best Linkin Park songs ever written. It just is. I am so excited to see where they go from here, and you bet your sweet little ass that we will be reacting to that shit as soon as it comes out. Mark my words. So that was my reaction, long-awaited reaction to From Zero by Linkin Park. Again, so excited to see where this band goes, and make sure, if you're not already subscribed, then to subscribe. The next time we see something coming from Linkin Park, album-wise, we'll be reacting to that here on the channel. Coming up soon, probably in the next few months, hopefully a lot sooner than that, I will be uploading my reaction to Live in Texas to Patreon. I don't plan on streaming that, so if you want to see that just for $1, go ahead and check out my Patreon. You can follow it for free just to see the updates, just so you're not paying me for something that you're not going to watch, but maybe you support the channel anyway. But if you can't support the channel in that way, go ahead and like and subscribe. Even dislike it. If you didn't like what I had to say, you said I got this wrong, please do let me know in the comments down below. Click every link in my description. I'm not out here to scam you. I am just here to waste your time. And with all that said, I've been Jerry Bees. You've been awesome. Take it easy.
Diggity dog. Breaking. Diggity dog. Shark. Breaking.